Do you feel it? That crushing, sinking burden in your core? That stifling, gnashing, immobilizing uncertainty gnawing at you from deep within? That's your vulnerability. That's the rot spreading inside, hissing, twisting, serving you the same tired lies you've been choking down your entire sorry life. And I can't stand it. I despise what you are in this moment. I loathe how you falter, how you slump there, steeped in self-loathing, waiting for some grand rescue to pull you free. There's no deliverance, no guiding hand, no leniency. No one's rushing to your aid. No one gives a shred. The earth keeps turning, whether you soar or fester in the mire. And right now, you're festering. You're marinating in your own mess, letting life carve you up, slice by slice. Repulsive. I sense every pulse of your dread, every unsteady gasp, every twinge of indecision. I can hear it shrieking inside your mind. What if I collapse? What if I fall short? What if they sneer at me? What if I'm ruined past saving? Be still. You revolt me with this flimsy, gutless drivel. Did you think thriving would be tender? Did you think existence would pave a shining trail for you? It's a struggle. Every beat of every hour is a struggle. Against them, against your own soul, against the ticking hands. And look at you. Still idling, still dreaming, still fleeing the clash you were crafted to meet head-on. Enough. No more dawdling. No more evasions. No more tear-soaked yarns. I don't care what crushed you. I don't care who scarred you, who double-crossed you, who left you broken in the sludge. That torment, that anguish, it's a boon. A damn boon. And you're discarding it like refuse. You see pain as your adversary. Pain's your defect, your spark. It's the inferno that molds brittle spirits into giants. But you'd rather wallow in it. You'd rather pose as the wounded. You yearn for the world's tears, and I can't abide it. Face yourself. See what you've degraded into. A lost chance. A dim flicker of what you were built to embody. You could have been unyielding. You could have swept through this realm like a maelstrom. But you let yourself shrink to nothing. A vapor. A faint heart hiding behind unease and panic. But no longer. I won't abide it. I won't sit idle and let you squander another heartbeat like this. You will climb, you will strike, you will plow through every wall, every adversary, every scruple, until nothing blocks your way but the debris of those bold enough to defy you. This is your time, right here, right now, not soon, not after, now or never. You either step up or you fade in this frailty. There's no in-between, there's no postponing. Either you shatter these bonds, or you let them throttle you until you're dust. But mark my words, if you opt for frailty, if you cling to this frail, wretched husk of a self, I'll forsake you. I'll wrench myself from your essence and let you buckle beneath the mass of your own missteps. Because I don't merge with the faint. I don't stand by the fearful. I don't bestow my vigor on the fractured who won't wrestle for their own cursed existence. So decide, now or never. Now or never. You think I don't sense what's churning in your head? I know it. I taste it. The fright, the vacillation, that sniveling little plea clawing for a way out. It's nauseating. It makes me want to rip through your hide and seek someone, anyone, fit for the force I carry. But no, I'm trapped here, lashed to you, bound to dwell with something that can't even name its own wants. And I'm through. You rise each dawn bearing the load of a history that should have flattened you. Yet you persist, still inhaling, still standing. And what do you make of it? You fritter it away. You gag on it. You let it own you. You let it jerk you like strings. You wield the hurt you've known like a collar instead of the spear it was meant to be. Do you think I'll stomach this? Do you think I'll linger, yoked to something as brittle as hesitation? No more. I'll hack the reluctance from your frame if need be. I'll strip it away, shard by shard, until nothing remains but the stark, scorching urge that should have always burned there. Because heed this, and heed it sharp, I won't say it again. The world doesn't care a whit about you. It doesn't mind your trials, your gloom, your splintered ambitions. It doesn't care if you break, if you ache, if you bellow into the dark until your lungs fail. The world doesn't care. And neither do I. What I value is one thing alone. My fortitude, the drive to prevail, to crash through every snag, to etch a course so savage, so brutal, so absolute that no one dares cross you. And right now, you're nothing. You're a fleck in the gust, a sigh drowned in the roar. And that's unbearable. You think life's in your debt. You think because you've grieved, because you've spilled blood, because you've held on, that fortune will bend your way. That it'll offer you grace. That it'll finally gift you what's due. Here's the reality. The kind that'll split you wide and force you to see what you are. You're due nothing. You've got no claim. The world doesn't deal in justice. It doesn't pamper the fragile. It flattens them. It pounds them into the soil and moves on. And if you keep existing like this, if you keep draping this frailty like a veil, that's exactly where you'll end. Entombed. Vanished. Just another botched, dismal saga no one will recount. But you don't crave that, do you? I feel it in you. Smothered under all the dodges, all the stalling, all the dread. There's the thirst, the wrath, the cyclone aching to burst. And yet you keep it chained. You pretend it's not there. You rein yourself in. But what chills you? Floundering? Defeat? Here's a fact about defeat. It's assured. You will trip. You will plummet. You'll strike the ground so fierce it feels like your frame will crack under the force. But the divide between those who ascend and those who stay prone is plain. Strength. The ones who rise, they don't mind how often they fall. They don't care how it burns. They don't care how much they bleed out. They get up, they scrape off the filth, and they push on. They keep brawling. They keep scratching their way ahead, no matter what looms before them. And that's what marks them from the flops, from the faint, from the ones who'll rot in their own despair until they're gone. So tell me, who are you? Will you sit there, sinking in your alibis, your fright, your futile, worthless dithering? Or will you do what you were born for? Will you loose the gale within and sear everything in your wake? Because I'll say this, I won't be bound to a faint heart. I won't share my might with someone too timid to grab what's theirs. If you want to stay frail, if you want to waste your days, then do it alone. Because I don't unite with the broken. I don't stand with those who take defeat. I don't grant my power to those who won't claim it. This is your last call. Your final prod. There's no tomorrow. There's no later. There's now. Now or never. You either rise, stand, and become what you were forged to be, or you let the world smash you under the bulk of your own cowardice. And if you pick the latter, know this. I'll desert you. I'll rip myself from your worthless shell and let you fold under the heft of your own failures. And when you call for me, when you beg for my force, when you grasp you've burned your only chance, I won't be there. So choose, host. Choose now. Because the next time you wobble, the next time you let dread guide you, the next time you let frailty worm into your mind, I'll be gone. And without me, you'll have nothing. You'll be nothing. You're still here, still drawing breath, still stalling. I thought I'd laid it bare. I thought I'd sliced through that frail, piteous head of yours and purged every last dodge, every last quiver, every last speck of weakness gripping your bones like a plague. But no, you're still waiting, still holding back, still acting like time's a gift you can squander. You let me down. You think you've got choices. You think you've got the freedom to sit here and muse? To wait for the golden moment, to pray someone will haul you from this hole. Let me brand this into whatever's left of that fraying ruin you call a mind. You don't have time. Every tick you waste is a tick robbed from you. A tick you'll never retrieve. A tick someone else, someone bolder, someone swifter, someone fiercer, is using to outpace you. They're not waiting. They're surging. They're tearing through every hurdle, every rival, every boundary while you sit here, strangling in your own self-spun agony. You're frail. And not because you lack the power. You're frail because you pick it. Because it's easier. Because you'd rather swaddle yourself in the ropes of comfort, of pleas, of terror than face the fight awaiting you. You want equity. You want simplicity. You want life to look at you and say, yes, you've heard enough, here's your due. But life doesn't know that song. Life doesn't hand out dues. It seizes, it swallows. It gobbles up those too soft, too tardy, too unsteady and casts them aside without a glance. And you're poised in its jaws, pleading for mercy. Pitiful. If you don't grasp for what you seek, if you don't tear it from the hands of those poised to steal it, you'll never own it. You'll be another husk left in the wake of those who wouldn't pause, who wouldn't yield, who wouldn't accept less than mastery. And that's the only code that holds. You think you've got promise. You think you were shaped for more. You're right, you were. But promise is hollow if you don't wield it. Power's empty if you won't use it. A predator that won't show its claws isn't a predator, it's Corey. And right now, you're Corey. You're standing amid the clash, bare, unguarded, waiting for the foe to spare you. But there's no sparing here. There never was. And the longer you linger, the nearer the steel draws to your throat. You sense it, don't you? The load pressing down. The dread rising. That's truth sinking its claws into you. That's the fact you've been dodging. That no one's coming to lift you out. That you're solo in this brawl. And if you don't stand, if you don't fight, you'll be trampled, torn asunder, erased from being without a murmur. But you're still here, still breathing. And that counts for something. That means there's still a thread. A slim glimmer buried under all this murk, all this ruin, all this lost time. But it won't wait for you. It won't sit patient, hoping you'll finally find your nerve. It's slipping away, melting, vanishing. And once it's gone forever. And you'll be left with nothing but regret. Nothing but the knowledge that you could have acted, could have been more. But you let it wither. You let it decay inside you. You let fear kill it before it could take form. And that's a doom worse than death. To know you were given something fierce, something rare, something unstoppable. And you let it drift away because you were too craven to take it. So what now? What'll it be? Will you rise? Will you let the blaze inside you devour all in its path? Will you let the rage, the need, the will to rule take hold? Or will you stay there, shaking, locked, watching as the world passes you by? Because I swear, I'm done waiting. I'm done talking. If you don't stand now, if you don't seize what's yours, you'll never hear me again. And when you cry out, when you see you've let your last shot slip through your grasp, I won't be there. I'll be gone. And you'll be alone. Fully, utterly, irreparably alone. And then you'll know what true torment is. Because right now, you've still got something. An escape, a way forward. But once it's gone for good. I'm weary of repeating myself, of spilling my words on something that should already be charging, already smashing through the walls, penning it in. But here you are, still wavering, still frozen, still waiting, still hoping for something, someone, to grant you leave to unleash the fiend inside. You don't need leave. You never did. But you let them break you. You let them crush you. You let the world convince you that you had to be mild, that you had to be contained, that you had to bow and comply and heed the rules made for lesser things. And that's the deepest cut of all. Because I know what you are. I know what you were meant to be. And it's not this. It's not this frail. It's not scared. It's not a coward gripping the past like a shield, using hurt as a crutch to stay shattered. No, you were meant to consume, to reign, to be relentless, to be something so fearsome, so unshakable, that your very name sends tremors through those who scorned you. But instead you've spent your life boxed, tethered, gasping under the strain of doubt. And you don't get to do that anymore. Not with me inside you. Not with me rumbling in your marrow, howling into the void of your thoughts, trying to stir whatever's left of the real you. Because I know it's still there. Beneath all the pretexts, beneath all the guilt, beneath all the self-pity, I can still hear it pulsing. The craving, the fury, the tempest. But you keep it penned, afraid of what'll come if you let it loose. Let me tell you what'll come. You'll finally be free. Free from their rulings, free from their demands, free from the irons that clutched your neck since your first cry. Because that's what they do, isn't it? They raise you to be weak. They drill you to submit. They tell you to stay put, to conform, to accept your slot as if you were born to be another blank face in the throng, another lifeless cog in their machine. But that's not who you are. That's not who I chose to join. And I won't stand for it any longer. Because there are two kinds of souls in this world. Those who devour and those who get devoured. And right now, you're being swallowed whole by fear, by doubt, by the ones who never wanted you to rise to begin with. And you let them rule your life. You let them tell you who you are. You let them decide what you can and can't do. I should claw through your skin just for that, for the insult of watching something so potent, so able, shrink itself to a whimpering ghost of what it was meant to be. You weren't made to be reigned. You weren't made to kneel. You were made to scorch, to consume, to take everything this world denied you and carve your mark into the bedrock of eternity. But instead you pause, and that's the vilest crime of all. You think I don't know why? You think I can't hear every weak, wretched thought screaming through your skull? What if I stumble? What if it's too late? What if I'm not enough? Silence. Silence and listen. You're already stumbling. Every second you squander, every chance you let pass by, every time you choose to steep in your own woe instead of rising, you're stumbling. And if you don't act now, if you don't scrape your way out of this chasm and start ripping through everything in your path, you'll never get another go. Because time doesn't wait. It doesn't stop. It doesn't care about your fear, your waffling, your excuses. It rolls on with or without you. And right now, you're being left in its dust while you sit here, drowning in your own self-made sorrow. Someone else is acting. Someone else is taking what should have been yours. Someone else is claiming the might you were too afraid to reach for. And that should set your veins ablaze. That should infuriate you. That should make you want to shred everything in your way and take back what's yours. But no, instead you sit there, feeble, helpless, watching as your own fate's snatched away. And I can't endure it, because you're greater than this. You're sturdier than this. And I know it. I've sensed it. I've witnessed it. And I won't let it decay inside you any longer. I don't share my might with the frail. I don't bind with cowards. So this is your last warning. Your final shot. Either you stand up right now and start acting like the juggernaut you were meant to be, or I leave you. I tear myself from your flesh, from your mind, from your very being. And I find someone else. Someone who merits this power. Someone who won't waste it. And when that happens, when you're alone, when you're nothing, when you realize you let the last shred of greatness inside you die, you'll plead. You'll scream. You'll wish you had one more chance. But you won't. You'll be forgotten. You'll be erased. You'll be nothing more than another flop who let fear consume him before he could consume the world. And that'll be the moment you finally grasp what true agony is. So make your choice and make it now. There's no tomorrow. There's no waiting. There's no second chance. There's now. Now or never. You either rise or you vanish. You either fight or you die, groveling in the dirt, choking on the squandered promise of the titan you refuse to become. But know this, I'm done speaking. I'm done waiting. If you don't move now, I'll watch as you're engulfed by the emptiness you chose for yourself. And I won't care, because I care about one thing alone: power. And if you won't take it, if you won't claim it, then you're nothing to me. So stand, open your eyes. Feel the need inside you, the fire, the wrath, and wield it. Take everything that was ripped from you. Raise everything that blocks your path. Rip apart every lie that told you you weren't enough. And become what you were meant to be. Because this is it. This is your moment. This is your fight. There's no later. There's no next time. There's only now. Now what?